Day 4 of the Brian Walshe trial. Judge Vernier adds a floral white collar to her fit today, looking like a Staten Island nun. She is allowing some text messages to come in between Anna and Will Fastow, specifically ones from December 30th and 31st. First up is Mr. Steal Your Girl, William Fastow. He sold the Walshes their town home in Washington, D.C. He notes that she was upset about not having her kids in D.C. The jury leaves the room as the attorneys are unable to come to an agreement about what text should come in. We have our first lengthy sidebar of the trial, which lasts about 20 minutes. That's what we call in the biz a half cannoni. The brunette woman that we discussed in the last video has changed seats, so she's no longer sitting directly in Brian Walsh's stole-over shot. The fervent impact at play. Fastow says Anna and him were discussing a future together. The last touch she sent them was around midnight New Year's Day. Brian called Fastow a day after. Fastow's like, yeah, I'm gonna let that go to voicemail. We hear that voicemail Brian left for Fastow saying he was concerned about Anna and that he hadn't seen her in a couple of days. By the way, Brian's tone never changes. He uses the same tone when he tells you his wife is missing Betty Wood ordering a pizza. We also see that Anna was quite bougie, wearing a Gucci necklace in one photo and a Cartier watch in another. As the great thespian Kanye West once said, if you reffin' with this girl, then you better be paid. Kelly Poor just gets up for cross, channeling her inner Englishwoman, 'cause she's going straight for the tea. Fastow says that there was never really a concern that Brian knew about their affair. Fastow references the grand jury and said he had one phone call with the prosecution a couple of months before today to review those minutes. Contrast this with someone like Jen McCabe, who had about 7 meetings with the Commonwealth prior to her testimony. Funny how that works. Fastow notes that Anna only said positive things about Walshe. Meanwhile, the rest of us are trying to see what she saw in him. We see a smattering of other witnesses, a pink guy who reveals Walshe asked about his hole in the ceiling on January 6th, a couple of fitness studio instructors who say Anna actually had a session around 8:30 p.m. on New Year's Eve. We see footage of Walshe throwing a bag away at a dumpster. Then Trooper Connor Keefe hits the stand. He says he's assigned to the Norfolk County DA's office. They had to stop court for a moment as multiple red flags were thrown into the witness box. We get testimony showing data that Anna's phone last pinged around the area of the Walshe Cohasset home on January 2nd. We also see that Brian's phone was registering movement from his Cohasset home to various hardware stores and ended up at a dumpster near his mother's home in the days following Anna's disappearance. Silly Brian. We all know that we should have used the dumpster at a military base. We get data from our favorite digital forensics company that is sometimes right, Celebrite. Walshe had searches for Christmas Day plane crash, Anna Walshe found dead, and William Fastow, D.C. real estate on Christmas Day. This was after Anna's flight back to Boston was canceled Christmas morning, which may indicate that he had some suspicions about Fastow. Ultimately, it was an interesting day. Fastow is a unique character. I've seen mixed reactions to his testimony, and he was pulling some sketchy shit, engaging in a pretty serious side relationship with Anna. However, it also definitely seems more clear that Brian knew about the affair, and it could have been a potential motive. Half day tomorrow with the Cross O'Keefe, which should be quite interesting.